I want to focus actually on Dwight Howard for a second. So at that time, when you were there and you guys were together, Dwight was 32 years old. I think he only missed one game that year, 81 out of 82. But he was averaging almost 17 points, 12 and a half boards, and almost 2 blocks. So what do you think, in your opinion, on Dwight Howard? What was the most slept-on quality about him?
I think you said it right. Him, the ability to come in and get those numbers every single night. It's tough because no knock on Dwight. Like he like I said, he can come in and give you those numbers. But I think it was just the other things that, like, not even off the court stuff. I'm saying on the court stuff. Like, I think that same year, right, he averaged those numbers, but he also led the league in offensive fouls and he also led the league in travels. And like some things that he would voice to the team. And again, Dwight's you know what I mean. I liked him as a player. He's a good dude, a good player. Like, I have no knocking on him, but like I think the reason why people would start to be like on him, given those numbers, was because a lot of the times he would preach things and then like kind of do the opposite in the games. But like he would still get his numbers though. You know what I mean? And like the defensive, on defense, was he following the defensive plan where it wasn't affecting other guys, and guys would get frustrated. But I mean, it's hard to complain about a guy who does go out there and does get those numbers. So I think the conversation is happening about him because of those other things, right? If it was just he was averaging 16, 12, whatever, then there would be like no debate, like, what's going on here? Why isn't he getting the respect that he was supposed to be getting? But I think it's because of those other things that people started to question, like, is this still the same Dwight as we've seen for a while?
Bro, that's an interesting take.
Bro, you cannot average the most offensive fouls and travels in the same season. Like, it's got to be one or the other. You can't lead in both. You know what I mean? Like, and I think, like, we had team meetings like, yo, bro, like, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. And it'd be like, yeah. And then when we get on the court, it'd be like, what happened?
You think he just lacked like fundamentals? Like,
I don't know. Like, I think he had a few bad habits. He'd spin baseline, step out of bounds. Like, the game started to change a little bit. Guys started, the flopping on defense started to come to play a little bit. Like, the game evolves a little bit. And some guys adjust to it well, and some guys it takes a little longer. By no means, I think Dwight he's a Hall of Famer, one of the best bigs to ever play our game. In his prime, he's one of the most unstoppable players that ever touched the ball. Like, he could do a lot of things. He was even good as a backup big. Like, he could do a lot of things. But I think if we are on the subject of what was going on with him, I think explaining the other side kind of makes more sense to people.
I respect the answer. It's not one that I've ever heard, so I appreciate it.